we're obtuse to what we've done in this life. The people, I mean, and sometimes we really hurt people, and we're obtuse to it, and we got to pay for that somehow. We got to pay for it. So, what to speak of previous lives? We have no clue what we were in a previous life. In this life, we're obtuse, and we're just reaping some deficit or some loss or some gain. And that's so the best way to deal with whatever I got in this life is throw my hands up. I got what I got. I got what I got. And now what am I going to do with that? Am I going to grow from it? Or am I going to be bitter from it? Am I going to hate God or hate the universe or hate myself or hate my environment or hate the president? Or am I just going to deal with what I got and move forward in a positive way? So yeah, we don't hate our karma. We just say, okay, this is my time I'm doing in this world to grow, to evolve.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom on the Sage, is a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunatha, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show. It's episode 1478, and it's November 29th, 2024. Good morning, Kaustubha.
Good morning, Raghunatha.
Hope you had a fruitful and joyous yesterday.
Fruitful in so many ways.
Fruitful in so many ways.
I mean, there's some good fruit.
You got some, yes.
Sitafal is in season.
Sitafal is in
really big, you know?
Yeah, that is cherimoya for those not in the know. Do you know there's a rampal? There's a sitapal, the fruit of sita, and then there's a rampal. Well, I just found this out last year. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
It is a prickly pear.
Oh.
Prickly pear is rampal.
These ladies that cook for Tara, you know, they just break out different kind of subjis, you know, different kind of vegetable dishes all the time. You're like, what is this? And then like, they go into the kitchen, they pull it out, and they show it to you. Like, I've never seen that before.
You know what? They are.
Delicious varieties. Yeah.
Janeshwar, my assistant and friend, says they cook everything. Everything that grows out of the ground, they know how to cook it.
Right.
Bengal. You're just living like the Maharaj over there, huh?
A little bit.
We had a great Thanksgiving here. All the kids came here, and Yvette and Bobby came over, and
saw some photos.
Brother and wife came over.
You got a little curd bird hangover going on? Are you okay?
We need a curd bird, but we had, what was your thing again? Mushroom Wellington, incredible.
Mushroom Wellington.
Then my daughter made this very good vegan quiche. Then the great,
I saw it, had a little bird on it.
You saw that little bake? It was made out of Bakos, that bird, like vegan Bakos. And then
you and Tarun made a blueberry pie.
Yeah, really good blueberry pie with this great whipped.
I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked actually that you made that?
Yeah, me and Tarun.
That looked like a really professional. Mara was helping a little bit. Tell the truth.
No, I didn't help.
This is me and Tarun's old recipe.
Other than finding every single ingredient the recipe called for. Besides that, we're cleaning up after them.
Where's
Do we have sugar? Where's sugar?
And then
and Ganesha made some mashed potatoes.
Sachi's boyfriend made some great mashed potatoes, an old German recipe.
Yeah, we had. What else? Stuffing.
Everybody was very good. Was it kind of like an Anakuta offering? It just all piled up, and everyone contributed.
Yes, it was. Yeah. But then we played 2 rounds of the famous Capo Krishna trivia game, which was very ecstatic.
It was really fun.
It can be very revealing.
Mara's years on the hot seat has got her like super sharp to keep up with my kids. We're all pretty sharp.
They're very sharp.
Yeah.
Rocco, I knew was going to be really good because he's always been really good at the trivia stuff. But Sachi, I was like, Sachi won't know all this stuff. And she was like coming out of nowhere with answers. And Tarun was incredible too.
Yeah, they're good.
They're really good.
Nice.
And that's how we do And that's how we do it here. We decorated the tree, as you can see in the background.
Yeah, I trimmed
Altar
it.
is almost finished here. And today will be, I think today will be the last day. We're getting all
Of?
that in place. Of the altar, getting ready for worship.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Oh,
All right,
all
well,
right. What do you got news here?
I have some announcements.
All right.
okay.
Narayani still spaces in her weekly Krishna book reading group.
Narayani does a weekly Krishna. And so if you don't know Narayani, she's one of our regular Zoomers. Been with the show before it even started. She's been with the show.
Yep, she's a
She's
Listens
from
every day.
pristine Switzerland.
She's actually from northern Germany, but she lives in Switzerland. And yeah,
Yep.
she has a Krishna book reading.
Yeah, that's on Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
I'm convinced if you read Krishna book every day, you'll be happy.
You'll also be very good at the Krishna
And you'll
at the
be
Capo
great at the
trivia game.
Capo
Krishna trivia.
game.
Okay. Also, tomorrow's Q&A day. Our show will be at 8 a.m. If you have a question you want answered, supporting members can post their questions under the questions for the host tab in our community chat. And if you're not a member, you can email us your questions at info@wisdomofthesages.com.
What
So
we
that's
ever
at 8 a.m. Eastern.
Yep. And also don't miss Kaustubha's interview Sunday, 8 a.m. with the founder and leader of Food for Life Vrindavan, Ineke. She'll tell us more about Food for Life, which employs a holistic approach to empower underprivileged girls in free education.
She's the founder?
They started they started just by distributing food to local sadhus and so on. But then when we say Food for Life, it means a lot more than that now. And one of the most important things they have is that school for girls in Vrindavan. It'd be very nice to hear about that.
It's super quite impressive. It's also the last day not the last day. It's this weekend. If you want to buy a case of my books from Punk to Monk, they come 10 in a case. Email Miss Mara, wisdomofsages108@gmail.com. That way you can just give them out at Christmas to people you feel like are on a spiritual journey. I sell them at cost. I make nothing for these cases. So if you're interested,
Can we bargain a little bit?
Can you what?
Can we bargain a little bit? Like
You can't bargain. I'm giving you the
put
rock
11 in
bottom
there?
price. This is the rock bottom. For you, I make no profit. That's what they say in India.
I want 11 in there. I'll give it to you for 11. 11 books. I've been in India too long.
Give the gift that keeps giving. You got somebody over there too, old
Yeah,
Shelter
yeah.
fan. You're sitting next to
This is
Hans. Why don't you
Hans.
introduce Hans?
Are you an old Shelter fan, or did you get into Shelter after you got into Bhakti?
He looks
I'm
sort
a
of
new
young.
new age Shelter fan.
Oh, a new
Came
Shelter.
to Shelter
fan.
through Bhakti. It works that way
really?
too, you know?
It works. We take people from the highest caliber of spiritual tradition and drag them into hardcore.
Down to hardcore.
Hans, what's your story? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin, and found Bhakti a couple years ago when I was living in
How?
Utah.
How?
How did I find Bhakti? Through a friend. Introduced through a friend, told me about Wisdom of the Sages, and Wisdom of the Sages has just been, amazing for me.
So
Shout out
good.
to all my sage groups, Parmananda, Lalita
What?
Priya, Maturananda.
Oh, you were in
All
the
good
good sage groups too. Those were great.
Shout out Bhakti Recovery Group.
All
Right,
right.
GVG.
Did you meet the devotees in Spanish Fork, Utah?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh.
there's a temple in Spanish Fork and Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's great. We love those people. Charu and Vaibhavi, old friends of mine. All right, great, Hans. Welcome to India and Mayapur. And you've been in Mayapur for a few days?
I've been here for one week. I've got one more week to go.
Mayapur is really
amazing.
unbelievable, isn't it?
It's been amazing. It's been so blessed.
Wow.
He also spent time at the Govardhan Eco Village, took their yoga teacher training there, took some other courses that they had there. So he's kind of really met Radha
Sweet.
Swami there.
Ah,
Oh, and he was taught there by a dear friend of ours,
what?
Nimai Leela, whose wife, who's an old Wisdom of the Sages listener and dear friend.
She's one of the OGs. She just had a
Yeah,
baby.
Vrinda Leela. She just had a baby. Congratulations to Vrinda Leela. What a
Congratulations.
sweet couple.
Oh,
And
what
now
a
it's
sweet
tripled.
couple. Her name was Vicky. Then we used to call her Vanamali, and now she's Vrinda Leela, and she just had a baby. It just had a baby like 10 minutes ago. Just had a baby.
Yeah.
3 days
And that
ago.
was one of those ones where we kind of take credit for that one, right? That was little.
We're taking all the credit for that child. Yeah.
Because we kind of brought
Anyway,
those
that's
people together
beautiful.
somehow. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
that's great news. All right, you ready?
All
brother?
right.
Nugget time.
Let's do it. Saraswati says Hans makes skateboards. Is that what
Yep.
you do, Hans?
I do a lot of skateboarding. And
Really?
yeah, we got some skateboards.
That's
Snowboarding.
great. Snowboarding,
Yep.
skateboards.
I actually made a skate video and used a shelter song for the video.
Huh. Did I get any royalties on that? Just curious.
No,
Just
no
side note.
royalties.
No
I didn't
royalties.
either.
Okay.
I gave you a shout out in the credits.
There you
All
go.
right, I'll
That's
take it.
awesome.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good, take that.
Okay.
He's been working with the skate monk actually a bit too. They're trying to figure out some kind of project together.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's the one that made all the Ragamuff noises compilations.
Oh,
Ragamuff
yeah.
ecstatic
So
noises.
let's not talk about that.
What do you? Okay. Send me that video. I want to see it. Okay. Give him my contacts.
He's gave you a thumbs up. He's
Okay,
said-
Hans. Great to meet you. All right, let's
Okay.
dive into some spiritual ecstasy.
All right.
All right. This is a nugget from your favorite philosopher and mine, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu, I think you said.
Keanu Reeves.
What did you say?
No. Well, like I was saying, like a name for Christian is Kanu. Kanu.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu.
Keanu.
I think I could be wrong too.
I know nothing about. When you
Yeah.
truly
He was
understand.
he was the star of the Matrix,
Okay. All right.
right?
When you
Yeah.
truly understand karma,
Yeah.
then you realize you're responsible for everything in your life.
Oh, what do we call that?
Radical responsibility.
Yeah, radical responsibility.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough, gobstopper sized pill to swallow.
Mm.
That I'm responsible for everything, even the people in your life that are driving you crazy. We have somehow called them into our life. Sometimes
Like
we
even
hear-
if there's like a crazy Joe Davola who hates your guts for apparently no reason, that actually it's your own fault.
somehow,
you brought
somehow
that
we have
crazy
some
Joe Davola.
somehow. Well, sometimes I'll say things like this, like we attract the people in our life by what the words and that comes out of our mouth. We attract certain people to our life, and we repel certain people. If you don't like the people you're hanging with, you got to change the words that are coming out of your mouth, because what we state to the world, we're sort of like that's drawing people into us. You know, and I always say, like, if you're talking about baseball and I hate baseball, I'm not going to hang out with you, you know. But if you're talking about a spiritual thing, I want to hear what he has to say. If you're into gossip and criticism, you'll attract people who are attracted to gossip and criticism. Make sense? But
It
but
makes
it
total
happens.
sense.
It happens in a bigger picture too. A big zoom out is that we are one page of an encyclopedia of pages, right? Imagine them those old World Book encyclopedias. Imagine 100 of those strung together. Each page is a different incarnation of yourself. You have Kaustubha in this life. Your last life, who knows who you were? The life before that, who knows who you were? But the soul is traveling through each of those pages. And at in every page, you've done something wonderful, horrible, miserable. Who knows? We have no idea. We have just a reference point to what we've done in this life.
Right.
And so the yogis say we are 100% responsible for what we get. Why do bad things happen to good people? We don't even know. What do you mean good people? We're just seeing
You're a bad
one-
person.
You're bad. It's just things happen. Things happen. Sometimes we cause some type of damage or harm. We're obtuse to it. We're obtuse to it in this
We've-
lifetime.
We've
aren't
been
we?
good and bad. Yeah, we've
Have
been
you ever had a person come up to you and go, you know what, man? 10 years ago, you said something to me and humiliated me. It's like, what are you talking about? I don't even remember that.
Someone did that to me once. Really
Really?
like 25 years ago you did this. And they were very angry at me. was
I
like,
know.
I don't
And the
remember
fact-
that, but okay.
Well, the fact is, we're obtuse to what we've done in this life. The people, I mean, and sometimes we really hurt people, and we're obtuse to it, and we got to pay for that somehow. We got to pay for it. So, what to speak of previous lives? We have no clue what we were in a previous life. In this life, we're obtuse, and we're just reaping some deficit or some loss or some gain. And that's so the best way to deal with whatever I got in this life is throw my hands up. I got what I got. I got what I got. And now what am I going to do with that? Am I going to grow from it? Or am I going to be bitter from it? Am I going to hate God or hate the universe or hate myself or hate my environment or hate the president? Or am I just going to deal with what I got and move forward in a positive way? So yeah,
I'm
we
with you.
don't hate our karma. We just say, okay, this is my time I'm doing in this world to grow, to evolve, right?
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Raghunath. I think for a few shows just in the recent past, there's been a kind of similar theme. Yesterday we were talking about it in context of Thanksgiving, giving thanks. Why should I be
Mhm.
thankful? No, we should be thankful for everything, everything. Even the bad. Yeah, and I
Everything.
and I think we're talking about in terms of humility a few shows back. Um, but I think somehow in the crazy world that we're living in, more than ever,
Mhm.
we've created triggers and built certain walls to kind of protect a false sense of who we are, but it's really not serving us. And kind of like the idea is, no, you everything you do is good. You are a perfect like tell yourself that, think that, and then when you come up against something in life, rather than thinking maybe I played a role in this, our tendency is to deflect it and say, no, the world is wrong. That person's wrong. This person, the universe is wrong. God is wrong. Everybody, anybody but me is responsible. And, Keanu Reeves, um, I don't know so much about him, but I'll tell you something. Everything I hear about him, like when
Everybody
people
loves him.
talk about him,
Everybody
everybody
loves
loves
him.
this guy. Yeah,
Everybody
like he's a
loves. There's
Hollywood
certain people
star.
everybody love.
Yeah, Hollywood stars are supposed to be like, like they get super arrogant and they
Most
do a lot of
hated.
super hedonistic stuff. They're very competitive with each other. They hate each other. And everybody that you hear speak about Keanu Reeves just absolutely loves the guy. And I also read something that was talking about like all the hardships that he's had in his life, and he's had like a lot of like a lot of tough stuff. Mara's been studying
Yeah,
about.
I was just
Mara, do you have a little? Do you love
Are
him,
you
Mara?
like a
Mara just came right
you
into the
read
screen. He's
these?
like, "Oh, I can tell you about
Oh,
Keanu."
let me tell you what I know.
well, no,
Hollywood.
I was just looking him up on Wikipedia because I don't know so
Oh,
much about him actually. But his first wife, he was married in 2000, and his first wife, first of all, they gave birth to a stillborn daughter,
mm,
and then broke up shortly after that, like because they were grieving so much, it sort of split them up, and then they got back together, and then like right after they got back together, his wife died in a car accident, 28 years old.
Oh,
oh.
So I was like, wow, that's tragic. But yeah.
I read a whole list of really difficulties in his life, really tough stuff. And you can see he takes this attitude. When you truly understand karma, then you realize you are responsible for everything in your life. That this attitude has served him well. It's helped him develop a beautiful character and a peaceful mind, and the people that are around him, they feel this guy is special. He's different, So anyway, I was we're gonna read today. We're gonna start a new chapter, Raghunath,
okay.
and we're gonna hear about it. We're gonna go back to Kasyapa Muni, who we talked about back in the third canto in Aditi, who's
Shapa and
like
yeah.
the mother of the devas.
Yeah, so it was Diti and Aditi. It was the mother of the
Yeah,
Devas, the gods, and the mother Aditi, the mother of the demons.
the
They're from the same
Asuras. Yeah,
family. You
same
might have a
father.
demon in your family as well.
Yeah,
And then yeah.
you may be the demon. Uh, but but what's going to happen is after some long meditation, which I don't know if it was going on for years, he's kind of away for a long time. He comes back and he sees his wife is despondent. She's down. And he does something which a lot of people might object to, but it was he goes down a checklist of, is it possible that you did something wrong to bring this depression on in you? Right? Could it be this? Could it be that? Could it be that? He didn't leave it. He offered other possibilities too. But he said, could it be that you've neglected something important? Could it be that you've acted in a way that would bring on inauspiciousness into your life? And rather than her getting upset with him and saying, how dare you say that this is my fault? She considers it all, and then speaks. And so like together, this is the way friends should work together. We should be able to consider if to be able to speak openly and especially we need to be be able to examine ourselves and say, are there important things that I'm neglecting in life, or are there ways that I'm behaving in life that are bringing inauspiciousness into my life?
She didn't
Nowadays,
just accuse him for mansplaining.
mansplaining or gaslighting. Why are you gaslighting me?
Why are you gaslighting? Why are you mansplaining? Kasyapa. Sage splaining.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe we
Look
can
at
talk
the
a little bit
great
more.
sage.
We can read some of it and talk a bit more about gaslighting and stuff too, because I think that's an important subject. Not that it doesn't
So
exist, but
sick of that word.
yeah. Well,
You know what I mean? I'm just so
you wanna-
sick of
well, let me share
everybody
something with you,
talking.
Raghunath. Why don't we get into it right here? This is from the Washington Post. The Washington Post.
Washington Post. What are you going to
The
quote from the Washington
The
Post?
Washington Post has reported that the term gaslighting has become a buzzword used to describe ordinary disagreements. Some mental health experts have also expressed concern that the term has been used too broadly. The term has become popular in recent years and is often misused to describe ordinary disagreements or insensitive acts or lies.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to share with you, and to try to don't get too annoyed, but I'm going to read you like a definition of gaslighting, okay?
Okay.
So that we really know what it is.
Okay.
Do you know where it comes from?
I can't remember. I did it when I searched this out one time.
It come okay. You're annoyed right now. I can tell.
I'm annoyed.
Just hang in. This is let's learn together, okay?
You virtue signaling right now, Kaustubha?
You see. If I am, you brought it upon yourself. Just think of it that way.
Mm.
Okay, psychological manipulation of a person. Usually, so it's a very intentional act, right?
Right.
Psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotional or mental stability, and a dependency on the
I
perpetrator.
think you might gaslight me.
I'm not gaslighting you.
Now that
See,
I've heard
there
this
you go. There you go. You
definition.
see, you're doing it. You're setting up
See,
that little
that's
defense mechanism.
it right there.
You see, now we're caught in a gaslighting loop.
It's always
not
true. Whenever
gaslighting you.
someone gaslights somebody, they always say, "Well, you're gaslighting me." It
I-
is a
even if they
gaslighting
don't-
loop.
Yeah, you get in a gaslighting loop.
And you know what they both are? They're both not radical responsibility. They're just blaming the other person.
Now, the term gaslighting comes from a 1938 British play called Gaslight, which was adapted into a 1944 Hollywood film of the same name. In the play and film, a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she is insane by subtly changing the gaslights in their home. So he was like, she's like saying, the gaslights seem like they're set at a different rate. What are you talking about? They've always been set at, he was just like,
Right.
somehow.
He's like really screwing with her.
Yeah. But I think it nowadays, if you do what's so essential for us to do as yogis, if you're encouraged to introspect, and look at yourself and consider, your own mind and your own behavior, someone may quickly snap back, "Oh, you're gaslighting me," No, I'm not at fault here. It's the universe,
I did that to Mara yesterday. I was like, "Yeah, Mara, it's completely normal to have peacocks walking around the house. Everyone does that. You don't do that. You didn't grow up
Everybody
with
does that.
peacocks just floating in your house.
Don't
perched
you
on the
remember
sink
you
of the
had them in your
washing
house?
machine. You
Don't you
had
remember
them.
you-
You had peacocks. I talked to your dad. What was your peacock's name? Mara was losing it yesterday. I was getting peacock crazy.
Yeah.
Get
But he-
peacock themed on a regular basis here.
But here's the thing, we might ask ourselves, when people go through different hardships or different struggles or depression, or we might say, it seems like the universe is working against me. But we have to be willing to consider, could it be that I'm not working in harmony with the universe? And if someone can help us consider that with nothing but good intention, then that person's a real friend,
Sure.
So, if you're asked to consider whether your suffering could be in any way caused by your own actions or your own neglect in some way, is that gaslighting, or is it just the fundamental way that we can help someone overcome the suffering that we're going through? And so we're going to see that Kasyapa is going to do that with Aditi And we get a little peek into a little Vedic marriage here. It's
In
interesting.
in the 6 pillars of bhakti, we say that
Yeah.
we shouldn't criticize, but some people could argue, well, you have these gurus and they can tell you what to do and critique you. Where we actually invite people into our life that we trust, that we feel like they have our best interest in mind, that they actually care about us. We invite them to
Yes.
say, you know what? Correct me. I want to grow. I want to evolve.
Right.
Sometimes if we're very big people, very, very big, we can see any criticism is a way for me to grow. But really, sometimes you don't get a fair reflection of what you need to grow in from people who hate your guts.
Right.
But when there's people that actually love you and
Yeah,
they
they're
and
good
they really
friends.
have no interest in anything. They don't want you or your body or your money or your anything. They just care about you. And we call those our teachers or our gurus. And we want them to, say, hey, how can I improve my life?
Yeah.
And it's not a gaslighting whatsoever. In fact, it is that living to be corrected.
It's torchlighting. It's torchlighting.
Torch lighting as opposed to gaslighting.
You like that
Oh,
one?
isn't that great what
Torchlighting.
turns out of the ocean here?
Is this gaslighting or is this torchlighting?
Yeah.
And having said that, why don't you go ahead and chant our mantras for this morning?
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Mandatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
The gaslight of knowledge.
The gaslight of knowledge.
If that was the translation back years ago and then this term caught up, we would have to change the whole thing.
We have to change the whole, yeah.
You know what Justine shared here on the thing. She said many psychological terms are overused to the point that it harms people who are truly experiencing them. Gaslighting, OCD, narcissism, etc.
Oh my God!
Because they're not taken as seriously. And when we use these
it waters them down after a while.
Waters them down.
You call everybody a narcissist, everybody a racist. It's like, come on. You use
right.
hold those words in like the darkest, these are like
use
serious.
It for when it's real.
Yeah, use it for when it's real, or else they water it down and they don't mean anything anymore.
Right. All right. We're beginning
executing the Payovrata process.
The milk vow.
Is that what Payo is?
Yeah, I think so, right? Payovrata, yeah. Like Payonidhi is the ocean of milk. Payovrata is the
Payonidhi is ocean of milk.
It's the milk vow. So this is chapter 16 we begin today.
Payonidhi is an ocean of milk.
It's not?
Nidhi is not ocean.
Mara, look it up.
No, Payonidhi is
gaslighting me right now. I could swear it is. You're gaslighting me.
What have you? No. Okay. Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, when Aditi's sons, the demigods, had thus disappeared from the heaven and the demons had occupied their places, Aditi began lamenting as if she had no protector. So we're skipping back layers of storytellers here. Stories within stories within stories. And we're talking about Aditi now. Payonidhi means
The ocean.
The ocean. Okay. I stand corrected, Kaustubha.
Oh, it's okay, Raghunath. I've done it to you.
Have you? Yeah, you have. Every day.
Why are you challenging that?
Every day. O king, when Aditi's sons, the demigods, and had thus disappeared from heaven, and the demons had occupied their places, Aditi began lamenting as if she had no protector.
These are her sons.
Yeah, the demigods. After many, many days, the great powerful sage Kasyapa, right, the father, arose from trance of meditation and returned home to see the ashram of Aditi neither jubilant nor festive.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a downer.
A little
there,
bit of
huh?
a downer, not in the holiday season,
Right.
Aditi. Oh, best of the Kurus. Oh, best of the Kurus. I'm sorry. When Kasyapa Muni had been properly received and welcomed, he took his seat and then spoke as follows to his wife, Aditi, who was very morose. O most gentle one, I wonder whether anything inauspicious has now taken place in regard to religious principles, the Brahmins, or the people in general who are subject to the whims of death.
Okay. So now what's going to happen is for like about 4 or 5 verses, he's going to just start to list things that, could have been her
Could
fault,
right, right.
and she's gonna hear it out.
Let's hear what their relationship was like.
All right.
Eavesdrop into their
Let's
family
listen in.
dynamics.
Let's listen in.
Let's listen in. Oh, my wife, who are very much attached to your household life, if the principles of Dharma, economic development, and satisfaction of the senses are properly followed in household, one's activities are as good as those of a transcendentalist. I wonder whether there have been any discrepancies in following these principles.
Hmm?
It's questioning how her life is. I
Yeah.
wonder whether because of being too attached to the members of your family, you have failed to properly receive uninvited guests who therefore were not welcomed and went away. That causes inauspiciousness.
Let's read the commentary to that. This is important stuff.
Okay. All right. It is the duty of a householder. That's everybody who's in a house right now, right? It's a duty of a householder to receive guests, even if a guest is an enemy.
Whoa, right? It's like
What?
someone's totally against you. If they show up at your door, you're supposed. Well, read on. I think
Hot
I'll-
seat, Mara. Can you name a time in the Krishna book where an enemy shows up?
Oh, I know.
An enemy shows up and they still were welcomed and given charity.
Mara's gonna nail this.
Boom.
Look at her. She's all over it.
If the message board gets it before Mara, the message board wins.
In the Krishna book.
In the Krishna book, Krishna comes to someone's house.
I'll give her a hint if she
Duryodhana.
knows it.
Not really.
No.
A full-on enemy.
Shishupal.
You're so close.
You want a hint? It
Yeah, give
won't
me
even
a-
be a verbal hint. Should I
Yeah.
do that again?
That was a good hint.
Roger's like, yeah.
That was a good hint.
Good. See what it says?
The person was an enemy. I'll tell you, it was Krishna.
Jarasandha.
Yes.
There you go. She got
Sunda
it.
Mara. She's back on top.
That's right. Because there was
Jarasandha was an enemy of Krishna. He wouldn't fight Arjuna because he felt Arjuna was too weak, but he fought Bhima.
they came to him in disguise. Right? Bhima, Krishna, and Arjuna came to Jarasandha, who was their enemy in disguise, to kind of, well, ultimately to fight with him, but also to reconnaissance and this kind of thing. And Jarasandha said, "I know exactly who you are. Your disguise is not fooling me, but come in." And then he just treated them like they're dear friends. Like he showed them all kind of respect and kindness and hospitality.
Yeah. Yep. So even if one's an enemy, when a guest comes to one's home, one should properly receive him by standing up. That is normal. You stand up.
You stand up.
You don't
show some
sit in the
respect.
couch. You're not sitting in your chair, and someone comes home. You get up. Hey, welcome. By offering him a seat. It is enjoined. Griha satrum api praptam vishvastam akutobayam. If even an enemy comes to one's home, one should receive him in such a way that the guest will forget that his host is an enemy.
Amazing.
According to one's position, one should properly receive anyone who comes to one's home. At least a seat and a glass of water should be offered so that the guest will not be displeased. Hey, welcome. Please sit down. Can I get you something to drink? Boom. That's it.
Boom.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
At least a glass of water should be offered so that the guest will become not displeased. Kasyapa Muni inquired from Aditi whether disrespect had been shown to such guests or atitis.
Atitis.
The word Atiti refers to one who comes without an invitation.
Yeah, literally, I think it means like untimely, right? Like they showed up at a
Atiti,
time that they weren't
Atiti, yeah.
expected. Yeah. Yeah, this is a very important part of the culture of the yogis, right? The culture of the bhakti yogis. That if it doesn't matter who comes to your door, if they come to your door, you are obliged to treat them with genuine hospitality. And imagine what that can do for one's character, for both for the, that means if someone sees you as their enemy, you could go to their house and know that you're going to start off on a good foot and maybe be able to work things out.
Reconcile.
Nowadays, even if people aren't enemies, and of course, one of our favorite skits is that what's his name again?
What's his name?
Sylvester. What's his name? That guy. The
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Sebastian.
Yeah, YouTube search Sebastian Maniscalco.
Company, maybe
company when company comes or guests.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, because we're saying that nowadays. I mean, people still say this in Europe. You hear people, "Hey, you were in Milan and you didn't say hi. You didn't stop by to say hi."
Right.
They get offended. Like you didn't stop by. Now it's like we don't welcome guests. Even if a person does show up, they gotta like text you from the driveway. Hey, I happen to be by. Is it okay if I ring the doorbell? You don't just ring a doorbell nowadays. No one's ringing doorbells. That
you got to see the skit.
You got to see the skit to fully appreciate this.
Yeah. And the faith in it was so deep that here's Kasyapa, and he's saying maybe the reason why this darkness is in the home, why you're feeling despondent and depressed, maybe it's because even an enemy came and you didn't show them the proper hospitality. Could that have been it?
Because you might have done something inauspicious to bring you some type of morose feeling.
Yeah, and even that.
Let's face it, if you do a lot of things without integrity, you will not feel good about your life.
Sure.
People try to put people on medication right away because they're depressed or they're sad or my teenager's going through this. How about see if that person's living with integrity? If they're being fair, if they're being honest, if they don't cheat, if they don't steal, if they don't lie.
Maybe that's contributing.
What's that?
Maybe that's contributing to.
Maybe that's contributing to the depression.
Right.
When we live outside of integrity and we're just lazy, come on. Of course you're going to be sad.
Gaslighting right now. My God. All right. No, what does that look? What is that?
You're disappointing me. You're disappointing me.
No, you're really gaslighting me. All right. Text 7.
Homes from which guests go away without having been received, even with an offering of a little water, are like those holes in the field, which are the homes of jackals.
Jackals. I saw a jackal just come right up to Tara's house the other night.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
They're creepy animals.
They
are.
Why don't you read this commentary too? Got it?
In a field, there may be holes made by snakes and mice, but when there are very big holes, it may be supposed that jackals live there. Certainly, no one goes to take shelter in such homes. Thus, the homes of human beings where atitis or uninvited guests are not properly received are like the homes of jackals.
Just a dirty jackal hole.
Dirty jackal hole. No matter how nice it is, it's a dirty jackal hole.
Yeah.
Oh, chaste and auspicious woman, when I left home for other places, were you in so much anxiety that you did not offer oblations of ghee into the fire? Right? Did you forget your
interesting question?
Your spiritual duties?
Yeah.
That's also sort of like living outside of integrity.
Yes.
Right?
And I'll say something more about this. Yeah, one is I think it's really significant that he's saying, we've chosen to live a particular life, where we have these we've taken up these regular duties or regular daily rites, daily rituals that we do that bring auspiciousness into our mind, into our home, in a very tangible way.
Sure.
We've made that commitment together. Have you neglected it? Could that be what's brought this in? But you know what else I thought was significant about this, Raghunath?
What?
I've seen people debate online
Online debates, those are always great to
Online.
witness.
Yeah,
Chime
I've
in,
seen-
drop some of your wisdom on them. Maybe
I
they'll
don't do
change
that.
now.
I do not do that. I stay out of it. But I have seen it where they're debating whether it is like a part of our tradition or whether it's like some kind of
Add on.
or I was going to say more than just an add-on, but more like a deviation from our tradition
What? What's
for women to perform Vedic rites like fire sacrifice,
oh,
right? To
okay.
perform those priestly rites.
Sure.
It seems to be indicating right here in this very verse that she was doing that, and you know, an authority on the level of Kasyapa is coming back and saying maybe you weren't doing your daily rituals. You know,
Yeah, there you go. When you quote that next up on your Facebook.
so,
I'm,
sometimes,
I'm ready to close my Facebook account just because of stuff like this.
yeah, it could.
If anyone knows how to do
If
it,
it's
I want to do
if
it.
it's coming to you, Raghunath, it could be your own fault. It could be due to your own.
Do you want me to delete your Facebook app
Look
now
at me,
from
give
your
me that. You're
phone?
gaslighting me. Look.
Mara saying you want to delete it from your phone. Well, I still use it for Facebook
She's right.
Marketplace.
Mayor's like, yeah, I'll do it. No problem. Let's do it right now.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
He's like,
I want to
right
delete
now.
the accounts, but I want to keep Facebook Marketplace. Can you do that? See if we can do that.
You can use my Facebook Marketplace.
I can use your Facebook Marketplace. All right, whatever. Delete my Facebook
You're
account.
trapped.
You want me to delete your Instagram too?
No,
while I'm
Instagram I'm
there?
going to keep because I like Instagram.
You know, yeah, I think it's good that you have your Instagram. Yeah,
It's fun. Instagram's fun. You know what I mean? It's sort of like even the most simplest ways. It's like, hey, I saw that you were in Greece the other day. That looks so fun. You know, it's good for social, stuff. Connecting with your
okay.
peeps.
Warmth. You know, a little opening one's mind and confidence.
I'm not
sharing,
into
hearing one
online
another.
debates and hating people online and trying to sway them to my side. Just
That's right. We don't do that.
making offenses.
All right.
Anyway. Oh, great lady. Text 9. By worshiping the Brahmanas, a householder can achieve the desired goal of residing in the higher planets, where the sacrificial fire and the Brahmins are to be considered the mouth of Lord Vishnu, who is the supersoul of all demigods.
By
Oh,
worshiping
great-minded lady.
Whoa.
Whoa.
By worshiping the fire and the Brahmanas, a householder can achieve the desired goal of residing in the higher planets. For the sacrificial fire and the Brahmanas are to be considered the mouth of Lord Vishnu, who is the super soul of the demigod. So he's saying, yeah, you know, these rites are so important. They bring such auspiciousness, and neglecting them can bring on inauspiciousness. Okay.
You don't know. Oh, great-minded lady. Are all your sons faring well?
Okay, now he's going to flip it and say, maybe it's some external thing that's not on your plate in one sense, right? Like,
You're right. And yeah.
go ahead.
Seeing your withered face, I can perceive that your mind is not tranquil. How is this so? You know, I was with a senior devotee, an older devotee.
Okay.
And I know he's got older children too. I just looked at him. I haven't seen him in a while. I sat down next to him. I said, when do you stop worrying about your kids? I said that to him. I got asking some mature fatherly advice from a older father than myself. And he goes, when you're dead. When you're dead.
When you're dead.
Then you just stop worrying about them. Like never ends. I always get to this place like, well, when they turn 17 or 18, then I'm going to stop worrying. When they turn 12, then I'm going to be like, well, no, it's part of. So if you here Aditi's kids are not happy. They're running for their lives. They're like refugees from their higher planets. Of course she's not happy.
You know what this conversation reminded me of, Raghunath?
What?
There's another place in Bhagavatam, a very similar conversation. When Arjuna returns from Dwarka to Hastinapur and meets with Yudhishthir, and Yudhishthir is waiting for Arjuna to come back, and he's seeing all kind of inauspicious omens.
Yes, in the Mahabharata that happens too.
All right, yeah.
Well, why are you happy? It was right when when Arjuna's son dies.
Arjuna? No.
When Abhimanyu dies, and Arjuna comes back to the camp, and they're like, "Why are you so sad?"
Okay, but that's not what
And that's not what you're talking about, but it's
That's not
also
what I'm talking about.
it's
That's a
also the same. It's
fascinating,
also the same.
fascinating. Gets even
Also the
better.
same. Might even be a more captivating story, presenting the same
No,
truth.
you're right. Because Arjuna says, "Why is everybody looking so down? Could
What's
it
the
be
matter?
this? Could it be that? Did you fail to
Right?
protect my
Right?
son?" Very good. But there's
Right.
another one where you flip it the other way. Arjuna's coming back from Dwarka. Yudhishthir had been seeing all kind of inauspicious omens.
Oh yes. Yes.
Arjuna's looking all dejected, and Yudhishthir actually goes through a much longer list of things that Arjuna may have done wrong,
Mm.
right?
Oh, that's right.
And then again, the last thing that he says is, or could it be that Sri Krishna has left, has left the planet, and that's the cause of your despondency? And of course, that's what it was. But I'll share something, Raghunath.
Please, something
As
personal.
well, it is personal.
Okay.
It is. I'm reading about doing rites and the responsibility to it. And today I did a few rites, because I
Religious
shared.
rites, like death rites, funeral rites.
Well, no, but my mother. I shared this with you and Mara. But my mother is, probably in her last few days right now. I've been receiving news of this, and I can't be there, with her for her. But I can, in one sense, I'm in a good place to do some rites for her, some rituals.
Metaphysical rituals to help the soul
Yeah,
pass.
to a lot of people that might
Yeah.
not mean something, but to me it means a lot. And so today and yesterday I was in the temple. It's really easy to, they make a really nice offering, and they, and you can write your prayer there. But I prayed. I prayed as the offering was being made,
Mm.
and my prayer was kind of like this, like you and I, when we were coming of age, as they say.
Young men.
Yeah, yeah. Then we people shared bhakti with us, and they also shared, like, there's this famous verse you quoted sometimes. Devarshi bhuptapta nrinam pitrinam. That this is from the 11th canto of Bhagavatam. That anyone who's taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, who is the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligation, and is taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, to the sages, right? These are reasons why people do rites, because they feel an obligation, right? To the general living entities, to family members, to humankind or forefathers. In Prabhupada writes, such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mm.
And I was praying to Radha Madhava, um, in many ways, I've neglected my parents. I came to the path of bhakti, and I just kind of threw myself into it. I've been all over the world. I've been far away, and I don't know. There's something in the way that I invested myself in it that just kind of took me very far from them.
Yeah. I mean, you have a
It,
unique situation compared to most people on bhakti. We're not recommending this to anybody, but
yeah,
your thing was like, you know what? You had a strong, very loud spiritual calling at a young age.
that's there, and I think maybe I just had some scars. Some kind of again, maybe from a previous life, maybe some tendency towards that kind of renunciation,
Yeah.
But I was praying that in many ways, I've probably been neglectful as a son.
Yeah. Check.
But I tried to do it for serving you, right? I'm praying to Radha Madhava, I tried to do it in your service.
Mm.
And you've made this promise to us in Bhagavatam that these aren't my debts, so I'm turning to you and saying, so you please take care of them. You please take care of my mother. I in a way that's maybe very incomplete and not pure. I've tried to give my life to you with this promise. So now I'm begging you, please do all, please be merciful to her, as I neglected them for you, and I felt good about that prayer,
You know what? That is beautiful, and I think they will. I think your mom will be taken care of.
Raghunath, I felt it entirely, right?
That was a very
Yeah,
sweet story.
The depth of my faith in that was just like so I know to many people that'll just sound like, oh, this guy's like, you know, lost in his religious whatever, but it's built on so much, you know. That faith is built on so much.
You can
And I
break
felt,
that down also. If that sounds too fishy for most people, it's not fishy at all. Our whole theory is you take care of yourself and you become devoted. Because our zoom back from that is, how do you make advancement in bhakti? You serve great souls. You serve great devotees. You serve devotees, period. And so if you really care about your parents, if you really care about your children, if you really care about your spouse, if you really care about society, you become spiritually connected. And everybody that loves you will make benefit for that. They'll make benefit because you're very focused on keeping the main thing the main thing. And that's important. Whenever I hear about someone's got a sick parent or someone's sick in their family, I just say, well, just take care of yourself, and their love for you will help them in their spiritual life. That's our whole theory. Serve devotees and you make evolution, or you evolve rather. And sometimes you have a partner that's like, well, my partner's not a devotee. Well, if you're don't worry about them. Don't try to nag them into being a practicer of your spiritual path. Just try to be a good devotee yourself. And to the degree they love you, they're doing it.
They're connected.
They might even be doing it better than you because they're serving you at all times. And they make a lot of evolution. You might not even be able to see it in the short term. In the long term, you might be able to see it. But in the biggest picture of the soul's journey, they make lots of advancement.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and you know, there's something so satisfying about going before Lord Nrsingadev in this temple. This is no ordinary deity of Lord Nrsingadev. Yeah. You know, anybody that knows him knows it. And that in one sense, this promise was made to Prahlad. You know, the Prahlad prayed for his father. And Lord Nrsingadev is like, oh, he's covered, and many other generations are covered just by your being connected, you know.
You know, that's why when we do have a parent, spouse, etc., child that's sort of even inimical to you, sometimes we feel like, well, I pray for everybody, I chant, I take care of myself, but you know, screw those guys. They were never good parents. They were never good sons or daughters, or they were never a good spouse. Screw them. No. You always have to be in the mood of a devotee. I'm praying for them. When there's people that are really driving you nuts, and they have driven you nuts historically, our mood isn't to fight back. Our mood is to pray for their deep spiritual connection. Because if they're not going to get the benefit if you don't have good feelings towards them. So, and it's part of our growth is to not hate people that hate us or hate people that have mistreated us. As devotees, we learn to love those who've even wronged us. That's a tall order, but that's how we do it. That's how we do it. You know, and this is how bhakti grows and spreads. And that's why we're in a bhakti renaissance right now. There's so many people listening to this podcast. Where did they come from? They came from a current that must have happened in a previous life, where there were people who were deeply praying for them, or people who were deeply supporting them, or there is some like genesis of why bhakti is in a big maha peak right now, and it's only getting bigger.
Right.
Exciting.
Thank you, Roga.
I
just ask,
thank you for being
I'll
you.
take the opportunity to ask all the listeners, maybe you can make a little prayer for Victoria Ramella, you know, my mother. In
Victoria Ramella. Okay, we're going to pray for her.
My mom's name was Victoria too, Kaustubha.
Your mom's name was Victoria too? My mom's name is Victoria. This is crazy.
That's a Krishna miracle.
No, my mom's name is not Victoria. But that is, we're going to pray for Victoria Ramella, and we're going to pray for your mom too. Thanks. Victoria Simons.
She went by Vicky, but
all right, Vicky.
My mother did too.
Yeah. And we're going to pray for Vicky's baby, who just got born.
That's right. There's another
Vicky. A lot of Vicky prayers today.
That's you know, it's the world. It's always moving, right?
It's moving.
People are coming in. People are going out.
Ready for some takeaways?
For them all. Yes.
Radical responsibility is a tough pill to swallow.
It's a big gobstopper of a pill.
We've called crazy Joe Davolas into our lives.
Yeah, we're responsible for that crazy Joe Davola.
May all Victorias be victorious.
There you go.
I got what I
This
got.
be her real victory.
I got what I got. Now, what am I going to do with what I got?
I got what I got. Now, what am I going to do with what I got?
Examine if you're bringing inauspiciousness and suffering into your life.
Take a look.
Invited trusted well-wishers to correct us.
Yeah.
Let him in. Let him in.
Live to be corrected by those people.
Is this gaslighting or torchlighting?
Oh, good question. Could be torchlighting.
Yeah.
I'm a fire starter. Remember that song?
Excuse me. No. I'm a
No.
fire starter.
Yeah, I'm a fire starter. Who sang that song? It was a good song. I'm a fire starter. You guys know. Put it on the message board for me, please, so I can rest in peace.
Welcome
The
guests.
prodigy. Yes. Thank you, Sarah Gra.
Everyone's got it.
Everyone's got it.
Europeans are on it.
He was big in England. Okay.
All right. Welcome guests like a yogi with genuine hospitality.
Do a handstand.
Important. Even enemies.
Become spiritually connected and everyone benefits.
Okay.
Wait a second.
The Prodigy had an Om Namo Narayanaya chant in one of their songs.
What? That's a Krishna miracle.
It is.
The Prodigy had a Om Namo Narayan. Is that real? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to our takeaways.
By the way, I thought of a good idea today, Ragnar.
What?
Oh.
What?
You may shoot it down, but I think it's a good idea. I think we should have a Wisdom of Sages shirt that says that's a Krishna miracle on it.
Oh,
I think so too.
Okay.
that's a good idea.
It's chanted repeatedly near the end of the track. That is so
Okay.
cool. Okay.
Don't fight back the haters. Pray for their spiritual evolution.
Don't fight
Okay.
the haters. Love the haters.
Serve devotees to evolve.
Love them too.
And
And the Prodigy was a devotee.
don't let your house become a dirty jackal home.
That's right.
No. Don't let the house become a dirty jackal home, people. Thank you for joining us on Black Friday. Today's the day to purchase everything for your joy and happiness. All you have to do. There's a discount on joy today. You see my post I put up? I thought it was
didn't.
good.
The Thanksgiving one?
Wait a second now. Where's my phone? You hide my phone. You delete my apps.
There's nothing left on that phone.
Your
All
own
the apps are gone.
No. My post was good. It said, save 100% on everything when you don't buy anything.
Yep. Good one.
There you go. Save 100% today, except for my book. That you must double. If
Just
you
take
already
all the
bought my
money you're
book-
going to spend on Black Friday and get a bunch of cases of Ragnar's books.
Cases of books.
You
By
don't have to
Monday-
get into one of those riots to do it.
It's crazy.
Stampedes.
When did Black Friday start? Can you search that? I don't remember it as a child, do you?
What are you talking about? When did it
When
start?
did Black Friday start?
I don't remember it as a kid. It seemed like
The thing was, it was a phenomenon that, okay, we got to start thinking about Christmas, Fridays off, so people would do it. But then someone coined the term, Mara, what do you got?
Oh, it's because the stores went into the black the day after Thanksgiving
Oh.
because the holiday shopping season started. So
Okay.
they started calling
Right.
it Black Friday.
Oh, all right.
We
I
looked
thought
this
it was
up.
sort of
when?
like Black
When did they
Sunday.
start?
Like
They say it was actually in the 60s.
really?
Yeah.
But it wasn't popular when we were kids, even
No,
if they said
it wasn't a thing like that. People probably
Maybe
like
the
shopping.
businesses themselves said it like in their corridors of power behind the scenes.
Yeah.
When did it become like a full-on hockey brawl? That
That's a
was
good
like
question.
that was
Yeah.
like the 90s, I think.
People start dying.
When people started dying. Only America. I don't think other countries could act like this.
Oh, yeah. It looks like
Europeans?
2008
Oh,
was when
2008.
Definitely not in
Proud of-
Switzerland.
Not in
I don't- I-
Switzerland. They're
No,
so
they
much
would
more
never do that.
civil than us.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Narayani fighting anybody in Zurich for stuff to purchase. Game Boys, and I don't think I've ever even been shopping on Black Friday. Mara's a Cyber Monday type of girl.
Cyber Monday's a great day for shoving them scarves, by the way.
Shrubbing them scarves made by Miss Mara. You know, I remember when they threw Cyber Monday on us. I was like, wait a second. Remember that year when Cyber Monday was like, wait, you're just going to try to spend more money.
Then they threw in Giving Tuesday.
Give it. Oh, I remember.
Nonprofit.
Oh, I didn't know that one.